can you say over-modulation? Welcome, everybody, into the Pillow Talk edition of Pugs and Parker. This is the second of two streams that I do each and every day. The first one is High Noon, Monday through Friday. High Noon with me. Current events, hot topics, headlines. People are talking about it. That's what we're going to be talking about. It's a nice little cheat sheet for you so that you know at least a little something about every little thing that's happening in the world. That's Monday through Friday. Wasn't today. And it wasn't today, and that explains why we're a little bit late getting on the air today. Shut up, Jeff Ballard. You're going to criticize me for being... No, I'm sorry. Jeff's actually pretty cool about that. That's Byron. Byron's the son of... Yeah, we're 5 minutes late. No. Go. Come on. I'm a little bit frazzled here, so I need to make a call to the pen. We're going to bring out the big 6 foot, 10-inch fireball and left-hander from the Philippines, Pugs Parker. Look at him. All right. Dude, I'm frazzled. I'm all over the place right now. Bear with me. So, today there was no, how are you, James?
There was no High Noon?
There was no High Noon show. There was no High Noon show because the powers that be decided that this neighborhood needed new, shiny power poles. So they took down the power pole that powers my entire block, and they put a new one in. And they said between 9 and 3 today. And they gave us a week heads up. We knew last week. Little things were hung on our doors. We're going to turn your power off between 9 and 3. I tell you, James, they turned that power off at 9 a.m. sharp. I'm sitting there, I got the air conditioning cranking. It's like at 50 because I'm trying to make it like an ice box because I know that I'm not going to have any air at least until 3 o'clock.
You got to be prepared, yeah.
Oh, and it is cranking. And I'm sitting there and I'm actually in bed because I had just woken up and having my coffee and it's had the blowers blowing on me and I'm under the covers. I'm like, it's freezing. And then right at 9 o'clock, everything shut down. And I'm like, yep, here we go. And that's the reason we're a little bit late today, because this whole setup here, I had to reset the Zoom box. I forgot that, because the power was out, I had to reset the date and the time and all that stuff. And I'm not really good at that, so I apologize. That's why we're a little bit late. Oh, are you drinking, James? I need to have my little 2 fingers. Oh, God.
Dude, save me some of that.
I'll get more.
I thought this was hard to get. You can get more?
It's hard to get for civilians.
Inside.
Come on, man! I got the guy who's importing this stuff. He's got a couple cases in his garage. He's like, you need another bottle? Why? Yes, I do.
I know, man. That's like for a while there. I was friends with a dude who worked the door at Trees, so I could just walk in with like a friend and be like, "Hey, you want to go to Trees?" And hey, Russell, come on in.
Come on, doesn't matter the line. It doesn't matter. I'm enjoying, of course, the Black Whiskey, fine title sponsor of Mansplaining, Saturday and Sunday nights, 9 to 11 on 97.1. The Eagle? Is that what they call it? Best whiskey in the world as judged by the 2022 New York Wine and Spirits Competition. Just telling you. And I'm going to have a little of this Black Andean corn whiskey. Black whiskey. Andean black corn whiskey. You never heard of it. Neither did all the experts at the New York Wine and Whiskey Show. And they went, whoa! All right, how are you, James?
All right, so do you know how to say black in Spanish?
It's negro, right?
Negro.
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 Yeah, okay. I'm putting my little spin on it.
But they say their E's A, so it's negro.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then, do you know how to say whiskey? So you know how to say it in Spanish. How do you say whiskey in Spanish? This is the easier one.
Well, Spain doesn't make whiskey, so they would have to call it whiskey. Yeah, they don't have a word for whiskey, so they would have to use the other word.
Yeah.
So negra whiskey. How would you say that?
Whiskey negra.
Here's the big question. Here's the big argument in whiskey circles. How do you spell whiskey, James?
Oh, I put the E in there.
Well, sometimes it's an E, sometimes there's no E, sometimes there's a Y only, sometimes there's an EY. But James, hold on, don't let me. This is my thing. Let me finish. The most important thing is, do you use an H, W-I, Skey, as some brands have found, or do you call it WHI? But you're right.
I overwhelmingly have seen H's, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
But in Spanish, they do not put the E in there. So maybe that's what they're trying to signify by leaving the E out, is this is an import.
James, can I have a serious conversation with you right here at the top of the show before we get neck deep and start burning time? Can I have a very quick, serious, come to Jesus kind of conversation with you?
Doesn't sound very serious, but yeah.
So you know how I like to go back and hate watch the show, right? You know how I enjoy it. And you know how I like to do that. Okay, so I don't do it all the time anymore, but last night I did. And James, I have to tell you, you and I have been having so much fun these last few nights. There is some really good content in there that I think, if someone was ambitious, might be able to pull it out and make one really smoking 2-hour demo show. But that being said, can we not do the monologue every night? I love that you do the monologue. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great. But it takes away from you and me, and we always run out of time. And I'm leaving good shit on the board because you know what I mean? I mean, we could do it every once in a while. I mean, but every night it just seems like I would be fine letting the audience decide that. But I just from we're only doing this for an hour, there's not really a lot of thoughts.
What's a monologue? 3 minutes?
It's.
Should we do it at the end?
I don't think we need to do it at all. The jokes are terrible. It's not you writing the jokes. If you were to, spend 3 hours a day writing the jokes, you would come up with great jokes. The jokes are.
All right, don't do it then.
No, it's not. No, we can't. It can't be like that. It can't be like, no, don't do it then. It can't. You've got to be overwhelmingly on the side of, yeah, let's get rid of it. Otherwise, I won't sleep tonight. I'll feel bad about it.
Okay, let's get rid of it.
There he is. There's my guy. All right. No monologue. Jeff says, how about a compromise? Extend the show to 10:30. I don't think we want to do that. How about if we're rocking so hard that the show naturally goes to 10:30? That could happen. Last night, I think we went to 10:05 before you realized you had gone 5 minutes over and then immediately disappeared.
Yeah, that's fine. And dude, what are we used to doing? 3-4 hour shows?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever did a show that was.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is just like a couple of guys talking about the things of the day, and sometimes we get into stupid stuff like this. James, I got something. First of all, there are a bunch of things that we need to get into. Okay, actually, you know what? Let's start with the big news. Are you watching the football game? Are you watching the Amazon Prime Miami Dolphins Bengals game?
No, I'm not watching.
Okay, well then, yeah, that's fine. You don't have to. Seriously, I mean, unless it's Cincinnati.
I mean, none of the people here are watching it either.
Right. Yeah. But that is the big story that is going on right now. It's probably going to be all everybody's going to be talking about, at least in the sports world. I'm sick to my stomach over it. I mean,
What happened?
So, well, let me show you what happened. But first, you're gonna need the backstory. So, Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, who's just having such a great. Finally, what a kid, man! I'm telling you, he just got his ass kicked the first 2 years in the league, and he's a bust, and all of this kind of stuff. And now this year, Miami, he's off to a 3-0 start. He's wheeling, he's dealing. This team looks good. He looks like he's finally, the guy he was supposed to be. He's a little injury prone. He gets injured a lot. And last week against Buffalo, man, he got a wallop and he left. He went into the concussion tent and he went into concussion protocol and he's not supposed to play. And they're like, well, he's got to sit out. And then everybody was like, he doesn't have to sit out. He can keep playing. And, the Miami Dolphin doctors, there was a big controversy about whether or not, he should be allowed to play. What with the NFL's new big attention to, head injuries and concussion protocol and all that kind of stuff. And here, I'll show you this. This is something that is so fascinating. This was today. I shared this earlier. Let me see if I can find it for you. This was a doctor 5 hours ago, just 5 hours ago tonight, talking about the Tua situation in the big game tonight against Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Oh, and by the way, the Cincinnati Bengals are wearing their First time ever they're wearing their all white uniforms, and they're so cool, man. These are very
Does it
cool
look
Bengals.
good?
It looks great, man. It's white with all black stripes, and the new helmets are white with all blacks. It's black and white. They look like Penn State, but with like it's pretty cool. I think I like their regular uniforms more, but this is a nice change. I mean, I like the alternate uniforms as long as that's just what it is. It stays an alternate uniform. But they also redid the field and they redid all of the bannering for the Bengals in white and black, and everybody in the stadium is wearing all white. I mean, it's like a whiteout game. It's really cool. It's a very cool thing.
Oh man, didn't we just have the discussion that most of the white tigers are retarded?
Yes, well, that's what they're doing. They're doing like we did yesterday. The albino tigers.
How does this keep coming up?
They're doing a tribute to and that's exactly what they're doing. It's a white tiger sort of tribute. Okay, so I'm going to share this with you. This is a doctor. He did this earlier today. Can you read that, James, or you want me to do it for
you? Please read it.
It says, if Tua takes the field, this is Dr. Krasinski. Okay. And he's got a blue check, so he's got to be important in some.
It's official, yeah.
He says if Tua takes the field tonight, it's a massive step back for concussion care in the NFL. If he has a second concussion that destroys his season or career, everyone involved will be sued and should lose their jobs, coaches and doctors, or coaches included. We all saw it. Even they must know this isn't right. And what he's talking about is last week after he took the hit in the Buffalo game, and he immediately bounced right back up, and he was stumbling, he was wobbling, you know what I mean? He was obviously out of it. It was a flash knockout for him, and he didn't know where he was. But he's a gamer, and he went out for like a play, and then came right back in. And then after the game, he went into concussion protocol. So it was a big thing. Should he play? And James, tonight, just about an hour ago, he took one of the most frightening hits I have ever seen a quarterback take in football.
Oh my God, bad timing,
huh? Not just bad timing, James. The worst possible scenario occurred after this hit. Let me see if we can find it here. It seems to be missing. It is. It's missing now. Okay. I think they took it down.
Did you ever think back to when you played, like when you were in junior high and high school and y'all had helmets and full pads on? And, in the games, you take a couple of hits here and there, but you're just constantly knocking the snot out of each other in practice. And how many times did you get your bell rung?
I've had multiple. I have in fact, many of my therapists think that because of my multiple concussions throughout the years, but it might be a reason for my depression, especially the increase in the power of my depression. So, yeah, I've had a lot of them. I mean, I got the top of my head ripped off. That was the most serious brain injury. But then football, concussions, and all that stuff. I've had it all. Let's see here. I mean, I probably absolutely have it. Whatever that is.
CTE?
PTSD or CTE or whatever it is. Yeah.
Sea monkeys.
I mean, where is this it? Oh, God. Okay, so here it is. All right, so this is going to be the play. So basically, just what the doctor warned happened, and he didn't bounce right back up, James.
No.
In fact, he went to.
This is not how you want it to go.
He went into what they described as a neurological freeze, where his where his fingers went in a bunch of different directions and his arms extended, and he was taken off in a stretcher. He's in the hospital right now. Remember, he shouldn't have been playing at all. That's at least according to the letter. So here it is, if we can watch this. So here you go. We'll play. This is a guy playing with a concussion because. That's neurological. What you're seeing right there. See how his fingers are completely. Everybody did the thing. He didn't move. He wasn't giving the thumbs up. They brought the stretcher out. All the players got on one knee, and he's apparently talking, and he apparently now can move his limbs, but he is being evaluated for neurological damage after taking. Did you see that hit? Did you see the way his head hit the ground? I mean, this is the worst possible scenario. And the guy just wails on him. Look at that. Wham! Oh! Here, let's see what. Man, that's his head, man. Boom! His head is the back of his head where the least amount of padding is. Boom. All right, so obviously we've got all the prayers for Tua. Oh my God, and God bless Tua. All that stuff is trending. Scary, scary play, man. I mean, especially since I didn't think he was going to play. I thought he was out. I thought he was out in concussion protocol for a week. But no, the doctors cleared him, and he took a big head injury hit. At least it appears that way. And it was a very scary reaction that he had. We don't know anything. He's in the hospital. He was thrown in the back of a limousine, taken off in a stretcher, and rushed right to the hospital.
Well, you see those dudes in MMA that they take the shot that's like right to the jaw or this little neck thing right here, and they end up just with their arms stretched out, it's kind of stiff, like, yeah, that's kind of what that looked like. And
except this was more serious because it happened in the back of the head where the spinal column meets the brain. That's exactly where he was slammed down. So, typically in MMA, you don't get injured there. You get your button pushed in your hinge or you have a flash knockout, but that's not directly related to your spinal column and your nervous system. I mean, his nervous system shut down. Apparently, it came back because they said he was able to move his hands and his arms and his legs, or at least that's the early report. But oh my God, what a scary moment for Tua. And I like that kid too. I don't have any hatred for Tua.
Nobody does.
He seems like right. He seems like a good kid.
Like he's like half black, half Samoan, and worshipped in Alabama. How'd you do that?
Well, he won football games.
No,
James.
Isn't that great? This is one of the beautiful American stories, dude. Alabama worships this guy, and rightfully so. I mean, it's one of the classic games in college football history when he came in for Jalen Hurts, who was killing it too.
Who I also root for. I root for Jalen Hurts because I don't like how he got pushed away.
Well, but I mean, do you blame Nick Saban? Did he make the wrong call? It does suck.
Well, he didn't have to make either call. Both of them could have done what he needed having done. They're both great NFL. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I just felt it was a little unfair to have Jalen Hurts as your starter and then go, we're going with the other guy, and he's like, all right, I'm moving. Where'd he go? Oklahoma State, wherever he transferred to. I'm not even sure. Let me see what the latest is on Tua, just so that we can let's look for some official. Because I'm sure there's a statement. The Miami Dolphins made a very somber statement. Let's see if we can get to that.
Oh.
Hold on. Let's see what the I mean, not like he's dead, but it was like, please keep Tua in your best thoughts or something like that. I looked up the Tua injury. I shouldn't have done that. Gave me chills. Every reporter who backed the Tua injury really needs to be held accountable. I see. This is what the big story is going to be. Anybody who said, he's fine, he can play, is now going to be trashed by Stephen A. Smith and everybody else that does like a 30-minute sports talk show on ESPN and NFL Network.
Well, that's part of the amazing aspect of a run like Tom Brady's is that he's never been slammed into the carpet like that. Like he's managed to avoid serious injury with all these concussions flying around and all these other, career-ending injuries. That's one of the amazing things. He's like 45 now.
He really has. He really has. It is amazing. That's, I think, one of the reasons why. And it's not because he's just built tougher. It's luck. It is just luck. You're an NFL quarterback like Tom Brady to have never had. I mean, it certainly isn't because of his skills as an escape artist, because he's not a fleet of foot quarterback. What he is a quarterback who gets rid of the ball quicker than everybody else. And you can't hit a guy who's already let the ball go. So that's been a big part of it. Let's see. So the NFL is okay. Trying to see if there's anything here. The latest on Tua. Nothing. I'm not seeing anything official.
Well, you better give it up or Jeff Glynn's going to have a hissy fit.
Why?
Goo, you're talking about sports. Goo.
Okay,
I'm so
fine.
much
Go
better
go
than
away.
talking about sports.
Go away,
You
Jeff.
people
This
are
isn't sports.
barbarians.
We're talking about something very dramatic. If we were talking about whether or not they're going to go with a 4-2 scheme and who's going to be the backup quarterback, that's not what we're fucking doing, Jeff. We're talking about a fucking life issue. My kid plays football. My kid, I worry about my kid and head injuries and this kind of shit. This is not, it's not sports talk we're doing. Sports content. We're talking. It happens. The subject happens to be someone who plays the
Hey,
sport. But
how much better is AstroTurf in 2022 than when we were in high school? That that
I never played AstroTurf in high school. We always played on grass. AstroTurf was really bad when I was young. It was like just carpet. It was just
yeah, it was bad. Like, and I remember if we made it to the playoffs, we'd play in Texas Stadium back in the day, like the old one in Irving with the hole in the roof, and the turf on that was about this thick. It was
yeah.
awful, and it was hard as hell underneath that. I don't even think they had carpet padding under there. It was just like concrete. It was awful. No wonder people got hurt on it so much. No wonder people were always like breaking their ankles and ACLs and whatnot. Dude, that was a rude,
Oh yeah.
crude version of AstroTurf, and it's got so much better since then. So much better.
There was there was a study a number of years ago about the careers of players who played on AstroTurf between like 1978 and 1986, and those who
Really?
played on natural grass. Yeah, and
Oh,
it's like 3 years off your career. It's like on average 3 years less of a career. The guys who played almost exclusively on
I
AstroTurf.
would love
It's
to
because
see that.
their knees were torn. This came out years ago. This was like a big expose kind of thing. You can probably find it. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. Hey James, I had one other thing. Now that Jeff Glenn is out walking his dog, I feel like I want to do something that he'd probably enjoy. James, I had an experience today that can I just I saw something that I mean I've never I'm a heterosexual man, James. Didn't know you if you knew that or not. So I don't have a lot of experience in the world of gay courtship, but I witnessed something today that just made me go, huh. So that's how easy it is for those guys. So I'm at the racetrack. Is it racetrack? The gas stations here?
Yeah.
It's racetrack. Well, I say that because throughout the Midwest they're called speedways, and sometimes I get them
Oh, okay.
confused.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I always say to my kid, I go, I gotta go to the speedway. He's like, we're not in Chicago. It's a racetrack. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's a racetrack. So the racetracks are here, speedways are there. So racetrack. So I go to the racetrack. It's on Lemon Avenue. It's it's right across the street from a fairly well-known Lemon Avenue gay bar, and so there's a lot of interesting folks. This is where I saw the transsexual. This is where the transsexual I always see hangs out. It's by Love Field. I guess it's close to Love Field, so there's a lot of like it's a busy little Lemon Avenue that happens to be located across the street from a gay bar. I was standing in line. I had to buy ice, James. I had to go and buy two big gulp type cups filled with ice
Oh,
because
Cushion Power was out, right?
power was out. I got no ice, so I needed to just throw some ice. So I got a couple of things of ice. I also bought a bag of ice, but I like their crushed ice. It's good. And I'm standing in line, and there's a dude in front of me who is obvious. How is he obvious? You might
Oh,
say.
you can tell.
I don't know,
Shut
man.
up. We
Yeah,
know.
I don't know, man. Maybe it was the hot pink short shorts that he was wearing, and the muscle tight. I'm not kidding. He was wearing pink hot pants, and he was wearing a white t-shirt. But other than that, he was he was a good looking guy. He was tall. He was thin. If he was straight, girls would be like, "Oh, he's so cute." One of those. So he's in line in front of me, and he's getting whatever he's getting. I think he bought rolling papers. He's getting whatever he's getting, and he turns around and he walks past me, and he stops, and I didn't see who was behind me, and he stops, and he goes to the dude behind me. Oh my God! And the guy behind me goes, ah! And they hug, and he goes, aren't you? This is what he said. He goes, aren't you Brandon's friend? And he goes, yeah, we met at that, or whatever. And the dude says to him, you want to go back to my place and hang out? And he goes, yeah. And they go, okay. And he sounded like real sexy. And then they walked off together. And I'm like, what? It's that easy? It's that easy? Because here's the other thing. They were not appropriate. They were not, what I'm saying is, I described the guy in front of me. He was a good looking guy. The other guy, not at all. Dumpy, wearing a t shirt and sweatpants, kind of fat, short, not good looking at all. Not like the other guy, I'm like, I can see he's probably pretty popular at the bar. This guy's got a lot of, his dance card is full. And then they just walked off together. They just walked off together. And I'm sitting there and I went, huh. I go, that is, could you imagine if heterosexual relationships were that easy? And now I do believe that heterosexual relationships are that easy when both people are really attractive, like super attractive people all the time. Just go, oh, what the hell do you want? And they disappear. But you never see like a good looking woman and a ugly dude just bump into each other, say, didn't we meet at Brandon's? And then disappear together. Like, I don't know what they did. Maybe they're playing Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know. But geez, James, you ever seen that? Could you imagine if it was that easy for us?
Well, that's the good thing. It's not that easy for us, or the society would just be a wreck.
There'd be a lot of homeless kids, a lot of homeless toddlers.
No one would get anything done. But one of the parts about being the male libido is who said it? Was it? I think it was Bill Burr that said it was like having a third base coach that's just always waving you in. Like there's whatever's going on, it's always waving you in, right? And so if there's two dudes in the equation, there's no mediation, there's no hesitation, there's no voice of reason. Of course, the answer is yes. I would like that. It's like I like money, I like sex.
I got to be honest, James. If they had said, "Hey, you want to come?" I might have gone, "All right, let's go. I'll check this out." Can't promise I'm going to get involved, but I want to see how this plays out. Like, what happens next? How easy is it? Do they immediately walk in and start having sex, or is it like, a guy and a girl where it's like, "Can I get you a drink? You want to watch TV?" And you know what I mean?
Well, I'm sure it's different person to person, but that's one of the advantages of being gay is there's not that stupid girl crap in there. It's like, well, do you like me as a person, or are you just using me? There's none of that.
No, we're using each other. Because theoretically, this is going to be enjoyable for you too.
Yeah, and also like in the that's the sort of dead end of the gay lifestyle. It's like it's not like I was going to get you pregnant or anything. So what do we care? Why would what bigger thing are you worried about?
Who the fuck is Willie John Johnson who's telling me to get to the point? He doesn't appreciate my well-established storytelling skills? I'm sorry if your attention span can't keep up with my amazing ability to paint a picture, but I will not get to the point. Who's this guy? Paired. He's one of yours. You bring all the trouble.
I do.
Who's this guy?
He does stand-up comedy, actually.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, so here's also the interesting part that I learned from Seinfeld about the gay community, and this has to be a strong selling point too. Not only do you have just basically sex on tap, but if you're dating a guy that's about your size, you double your wardrobe. You can actually share clothes.
Yeah, well, that's assuming that you both like the same clothes, right? I mean,
you wouldn't.
No, dude. The two people that I saw today, one guy was wearing his hot pants and his super tight t-shirt, a tank top thing, and the other guy was just like in sweatpants, gray sweatpants, and a t-shirt, like a white t-shirt. So not like with some guys will have style. And I wonder if that's a thing. Like, are you attracted to people with the same style as you?
Well, some are, some aren't. Some are twinks who like bears, and some are just guys who like other people like themselves. But there's
what are twinks? Well, what are these words you're using?
Oh,
what is
like
a twink?
You don't know what a twink is.
I don't know what a twink is.
You really don't know what a twink is? That's one of the little bitty feminine boys.
How do you know so much about this stuff?
Because I lived in Dallas for 7 years. Jeez.
Oh, that's right. Dallas, well-known gay capital of the universe.
Dude, we had the twink and bear and
Dallas,
explanation
Paris.
on your show. On your show, we had to talk about this.
I know what a bear is because I've been called a bear.
Because you are a bear, yeah.
I would be a bear.
But do you remember Cisco Vegas?
No. What's Cisco Vegas?
That was the very flamboyant African American gentleman that Eric went on a gay date with.
Oh, I remember him. Yeah. Yeah. He was fun.
Okay, so he would be a twink. because he's a little
Okay.
guy. I mean, he's only like
Okay.
5'6", 130
So
pounds, maybe.
small, hairless, as opposed to the bear, which is large, older, and hair covered, right?
Yeah,
Hair
yeah.
seeped.
It's a big, old, masculine, burly. You know,
Let me ask you: do you think lesbians are the same way?
well,
Like we
it's a
just saw.
spectrum. Some of them like the butchy ones, some of them like the lipstick ones, some of them like the
No,
ones
no.
in the middle. What do you?
What I mean is when two lesbians run into each other. Is it the same as when I saw the
No,
two gay
no,
guys run
it's not
into
like
each
that at
other?
all. No.
Lesbians. So the men are far more sexually charged than the
Absolutely.
women.
Just like we
All right.
established in a show earlier this week, men are the only ones who have ever hid a camera in a toilet before. So
As far as you know.
there's a whole level of sexual
Okay.
interest that men have that women have yet to achieve. So I'm not saying it can't happen, but just it's been the human experience that guys have been more interested in sex on the average. And so that does express itself in the gay versus lesbian world.
Leslie Collins says it's not the same. I don't know if Leslie is a lesbian or not, but okay, I'll take her word for it.
Hey, there's my
Says
dad.
it's not the same. What up? It's your dad. Was he just sitting on the
Oh,
porch, chain
hey,
smoking, eating cheeseburgers?
ask my dad if hey dad, you ever been to a cockfight? Did you ever have any cockfighting roosters when I was a kid,
I
Dad?
don't. I don't know if you made that break close because we're talking about gay bars. You know, people might think you're suggesting something
Talking
else
about
about where your dad
very
might have
angry
spent his
chickens that
time.
fight to the death.
Leslie says no. Leslie is not a lesbian. She's no. It's not the same. Women aren't as sexually shocked. Fuck yeah, says your dad. Your dad has seen chickens fight. Okay,
Have you ever owned a gamecock?
I don't know what that.
You ever owned a fighting rooster?
Okay, there you go. You come from chicken fighting stock, cock fighting country.
You people have no idea who I am. You
No,
really
well,
don't.
I've
You really
got a pretty
don't.
good idea, but then I stopped. I stopped
You
looking. Got
really
a little bit
don't.
too dark. All right, what do you got? You got anything for me
No,
today? Because I got something else we
I'm
can
rolling
do.
in with nothing. About
We
100.
got
He's
nothing.
owned about 100 gamecocks before. You see that, Pugs?
Okay. Yeah, they saying the quiet part out loud, James. Jeez. All right, so I had this thing that I wanted to do. I thought it would be fun. I've been trying to do it for a couple of days here. Um, so last year, I don't know if you remember this. Maybe you do. We found that site that took a whole bunch of professional football quarterbacks and turned them into women, and we looked at them
Oh, I
and we
hated that.
decided
Yeah,
whether or
yeah, that
not.
was awful. Ugh.
Well, we're going to do it again, but we're not doing it with NFL quarterbacks. This is just male celebrities, just famous men have now been turned into women. So I thought we could look at it and we can play. Well, you got to be honest. I thought we could play a little game, a little round or two of would you? Let's see what Elon Musk looks like as a chick, huh? Would you? So let's do that.
Oh my goodness.
That's it. We can just flip
This
through
game
these.
sucks. I mean,
This
let's
game's
play it, but this
awesome.
sucks.
Come on, you know this is like the best game. All right, here we go. First up, here we'll do this. This is I believe this is Margot Robbie. Before you see
Is the
it, do you?
background not moving? Isn't it supposed to be moving? It's just frozen there and it's freaking me out. The background video. Like, do you have to hit loop or something?
It's moving. You're talking about with the little UFOs and the little stars, kind of a thing.
Maybe I just have a lag.
Is that what you're talking about?
Man, the people who do this are
You
so
probably just
good.
got a
Look at
lag.
that Photoshop job.
I know, man. All right, so this is Margot Robbie as a dude. I mean, she's so gorgeous. How could the dude not be hot, right? All right, let's go. Let's see
He's
what the next one.
pretty.
Tom Cruise as a woman. Tom Cruise is a
That's
woman.
pretty
What do you,
good. That's a
it's
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too. She's cute. Yeah. What her name? Tommy Cruise. Why not? Tommy can be a girl's name. All right, it's Tom Cruise's woman. Let's see what's next. Anderson Cooper.
No. No.
No, really? All right, just forget. It does look like if it was his sister. Like, okay, so if I met her at a bar, I'd be like, "Oh, this attractive woman. She'd probably be well because Anderson got that Vanderbilt money, so she'd be well sophisticated." all that, and so I'd be into it. But at some point, I'd be like, God, you look way too much like Anderson Cooper. It'd be weird.
Yeah,
Like,
because that can ruin it.
have you ever dated a girl who had a brother that you knew? I had that experience, and it was kind of weird. It was like you have
Yeah,
the
you look
same
like your
eyes and nose.
brother. Yeah, I hear you. I've
Yeah.
done that.
All right, Anderson Cooper. I think I would. I think I would. I think she's a. I think, all right, there you go. Who's Regis? Oh no,
Pat
Pat
Sajak.
Sajak.
Yeah,
What do you think?
yeah.
Not bad.
I mean, it's easy to say
Not
no, but
terrible.
really, if I just bumped into this chick and I was single, that's yeah, probably.
Pat Sajak has pretty eyes. I've never noticed Pat Sajak has really. That's what stand out in this. The eyes. When you see a good dude. All right, there's Sajak. Judge Judy as a dude. We need that.
Yeah,
That's disturbing.
get the hell out of here.
Okay, Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay.
Get out of
What do
here.
you think?
No.
No, it's not terrible. I'm telling you, Gordon Ramsay's
Not terrible. No, I'm not saying it's
Uh,
terrible. It's gross.
How about Cameron Diaz as a guy? He's a handsome.
That one doesn't work.
For,
That's the first one where I don't like the Photoshop.
Oh my god. Chris Hemsworth as a woman.
Yeah,
Holy
that's fine.
cow. Wow.
That's a yes, because that doesn't really look like Chris Hemsworth anymore.
I mean, look at the eyes. It is. The eyes are what give it away. But man, does Chris Hemsworth have pretty eyes in female form. All right, there you go, Chris Hemsworth. So yeah, we both would. Let's go to who's next? Oh, Conor McGregor. Yeah. Oh, Conor McGregor is a chick.
I like that.
What do you
girl.
think?
Yeah, that's fine.
Uh,
That's a yes.
okay. You think I don't think I think that's okay. But you're yes on that one. I'm no. That's okay. I'll have Anderson Cooper's sister to keep me warm. Drake as a woman kind of looks like Jordan Sparks.
Oh no, it kind of looks like Rebecca Black.
Who's that?
Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
Oh, okay. So what do you think? Well,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a yeah.
A hot woman. There you go. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Tom Brady. We've already seen Tom Brady.
Every year, got it.
Tom Brady's hot as a woman and as a dude too. How about Eminem? Oh wow! All right, Eminem is a girl.
I mean, I wish she had a better body.
Okay, just assume it's a rocking body.
Because, okay, then it would be a
this
yes.
is in female form. Looking at the face, yeah. It's hot. It's like a porn star, has that troubled face, has that childhood trauma face,
Sure do hate my dad.
And you're like, oh, bad stuff. Yeah, bad stuff happened to her before 12. That's Elon Musk as a chick. This was a troubling one for me because kind of got a crush on female Elon Musk. I'll be honest. She's cute.
Yeah, kind of getting close to what's her face playing Susie and Miss Maisel? What's that lady's name? Lois Griffin. I forgot her name.
Oh, no way. You're talking about from Family, the voice of I forgot her name. No way.
Y'all, what's the voice of Susie from? I mean, what's the actress? God, what's her damn name? Elon Musk.
Yeah, it's Jennifer Aniston as a dude. We don't really care.
Looks like Chris Hemsworth.
Okay, how about Sheldon?
Yeah, kinda.
I think Sheldon's kind of cute.
Yeah, well, I mean, if
Sheldon.
Yeah, Alex Epstein, isn't that her name? So if she has a rockin' body, that's a yes.
No, Alex Borstein.
Borstein, that's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm. All right, I like her. I like Sheldon as a woman. Jerry Seinfeld as a woman.
No.
Yeah, it's Jerry Seinfeld. That's way too much.
That's a bad Photoshop job. Get that the hell off my screen.
Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill is a girl.
Yeah, Jonah Hill looks thick.
Kind of cute.
Yeah.
She's kind of cute.
If she has a rockin' body, it's yes. I'm not.
Look, she's cute. Jonah Hill as a girl is cute. Keanu Reeves as a woman.
Mm-mm. That don't look
Yeah,
right.
right.
That don't look.
Keanu Reeves as a woman looks like Keanu Reeves in a wig. That does not look. There's not enough.
Bad Photoshop job. If they would have done as much editing to it as they did to some of these. Ew.
That's Blake Lively as a.
All right,
As a guy.
that's a much better Photoshop job. So it looks like
I love Blake. She is Kendall Jenner as a guy. I don't care about this. Don't be messing with Kendall Jenner. Leonardo DiCaprio is a woman. Now this one we had to know, right? She's adorable.
Yeah.
Female Leo is adorable. Look at her. Do you want to kiss on that face? Kissy kissy. She is. Even though, and you know what? Here's the thing about this one. It looks exactly like Leonardo DiCaprio, but that's not a turnoff for me because she's really cute.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, I think
well, he's really
DiCaprio
feminine
is
too.
cute.
He's incredibly
How about
feminine.
The Rock is a woman?
No, get the hell out of here.
No, get the hell out of here with The Rock as a woman. Yeah, me neither. Jawline and all that. No, doesn't translate to the feminine. Whoa, look at Jesse Pinkman. Whoa.
Well, that's a lot more Photoshop
Aaron
than they give some of these other people.
I think so. Oh,
it's more than they gave The Rock or the Seinfeld one.
Okay, I don't care about the guy that they made Gwyneth Paltrow as a man bald.
That's an amazing Photoshop job there.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Barack Obama is a woman. Nope. I'm going to pass on this one. Oh, thanks. Oh, the tiger, Joe Exotic as a woman.
Hell no. Get the hell out of here. Yeah. Get off of my screen. You're ruining
Well, let's see if we get one more good. Ah!
This is horrible now.
No. Yeah, we're good. Adam Sandler is a woman.
Stop.
All right.
Looks like the drummer from Lush.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. No.
How shocking is this? Wait.
Frances McDormand.
John Malkovich. She's not terrible. Not as bad as I would have assumed. If you had told me John Malkovich as a woman.
A lot of Photoshop.
Yeah, a lot of Photoshop. That's the best possible scenario for John Malkovich as a woman.
As a man.
Scarlett Johansson is so gorgeous. She's a good-looking guy. All right, let's move on. Let's see. That's it. All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our yearly segment where we look at people and imagine what it would be like if they were different. All right.
Can you give us any more news on the mansplaining front? What are you allowed to tell us that you hadn't told us already?
Well, I can't tell you anything. There's something interesting happened today, though. I can share with you. We could watch this. This will be fun to watch. Let's get out of this. Hold on. Here we go.
What was the rabbit hole you went down that I was supposed to remind you about today?
Oh, yeah. No, it's going to have to be an entire show. I went down a Russ Martin rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah, the Russ Martin. Well, come on.
And I just found a whole bunch of old articles that were written years ago. It was just some that I was quoted in. That'd
be fun.
Great. So I thought, yeah, we could just go down memory lane. Here, let's do this. Here you go. Let me share. Okay. I've got a very bad connection today. I don't know what's going on. Nothing seems to be working great. All right. Hopefully this will work and we won't have a big issue. Oh, God. That's big for us. All right. Here we go.
I'm back, bitches.
Wow! How about that, Dallas-Fort Worth radio?
Why did you stop it there? Where's the rest of it?
That made my day. What do you mean?
Where's the rest
I didn't
of it?
Stop it anywhere.
That was it?
It's only like, that's it. What? You think he's going to tell you? You think he's going to tell you something? He doesn't have to waste his time on you. That is the big radio news. Mike Reiner let it out today on his Twitter that apparently he's back. I'm just happy to have the opportunity to listen to one of my favorite broadcasters of all time. Again, I've told you, we've talked about it before. His podcast, My Dark Companion, is one of the best podcasts I've ever listened to. Now, it's all about subjects that I'm interested in. Like, he's doing deep dives with, other local radio people, really fascinating interviews and, stuff like that. And he's a really interesting guy. He got tired of doing, for those of you who don't know, Mike Reiner was the founder of The Ticket, probably one of the most admired radio stations. There you go. Look at that. One of the most admired radio stations in the history of not just sports radio, but of radio in general. It's a one of a kind sports station. There are no sports stations like The Ticket. And apparently, from what I understand, he just got fed up with, the corporate sports radio nonsense. He wanted to do more things. He's a fascinating guy. Loves music, loves current events, loves all of that stuff. And I guess when he was told by his new corporate overlords at Cumulus that they needed to do more discussions about defensive schemes and launch angles, I think he probably went, "Yeah, I don't need this anymore. I'm a titan in this industry. I don't need to listen to some suit 30 years younger than me tell me how to get people to." So he left. He left 2 years ago. He retired. Everybody's like, "What the hell?" And now he's back. He dropped it on Twitter today. There have been rumors. You can find the rumors all over the place. I don't know nothing, as they say. But Mike Reiner is back. He's going to be doing a new show. I don't know who's going to be with him. But I'll tell you this, as a fan of The Ticket, there have been a lot of people who have left The Ticket over the last couple of months. Shockingly, to we P1s who love that station, and we're like, wow, why are these? So I don't know. I don't know what I don't know where he's gonna end up.
Like Danny Bayless just decided, I'm gonna stop doing this. What are you gonna do instead? Music. Sure you are.
Well, Danny owns a bunch of bars, so Danny's got a whole nother career as one of Dallas's most successful bar owners. So he didn't need to put up with any nonsense anymore. And I don't know if Danny would come back. That would be great, though. That would be awesome.
I really wish I got to work with him or Corby or Gordon Keith. Like,
Gordon's a genius,
right? Ugh. Just natural. Like, I take that back. It's a natural, and then he worked on it. Like, what if you're naturally good at the fiddle and then you take lessons, right?
Right. Yeah. I can tell you that although I never worked at that station, a number of those guys were instrumental in Kelly and I choosing to go to Cumulus over Clear Channel back when we left the Live 105.3 and went to the Bone. And people may not understand this, but it's not always easy if you're a show host and you go to another station that has a bunch of other talented show hosts. And oftentimes, this is an industry that's very steeped in ego and narcissism and people being territorial and not a whole lot of really nice superstars in the radio business. There's just not. And when you meet one, you are shocked by it because they don't fit the mold. They're not like all the rest of them. And when Kelly and I went over to the Bone, our studio was right next to the Ticket studio. And those guys, man, were so awesome to us. Because we admired the hell out of Bob Sturm and, Mike Reiner and Corby and Danny and all of those guys. Those guys were absolute heroes to what Kelly and I were doing. We loved it. We loved their freedom. We loved their creativity. And to have them be so kind to these kids who are the new show, who came from across the street, who, working on a different station, but they didn't have to be nice to us. And they were really great. So, I love all those guys. I don't know. I still enjoy The Ticket, but I am going to be really, really interested in listening to wherever it is that Mike Reiner ends up and whoever ends up with him. That's going to be freaking great.
I remember it was really weird when 9/11 happened. I wanted to hear what Howard Stern had to say, and then when he was done, I flipped to The Ticket. Like, these guys aren't going to be talking sports, and they're not going to be talking like, I'm a news anchor who is just giving you the straight facts, reporting on the ground. We have our Robin on the ground in Manhattan. She's at 32nd and what. They're not going to give real reports. They're just going to be like, dude, these buildings blew up. Like they would talk to you like,
like
yeah,
us,
like,
like us, like all of our friends.
and I was like, in this biggest news story of my life, instead of getting the actual play by play from the clowns in the newsroom, I'd rather hear it from them at that point. And it kind of dawned on me. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you want the facts,
right. And but
you know what I mean? Like
what a strange bond they make. What a strange bond that is. That in the crisis, I turn to the sports station, because that means they're not sports. There's something bigger than
it
that.
means they were just amazing. They're all. I mean, I think the ticket is sports now. I think that they're forced to be far more sportsy than they were when it was, Mike Reiner and Bruce Gilbert calling the shots over there when they knew how to connect. They were always kind of a hybrid between a traditional sports station and what we were as the Howard Stern station. We were like a guy talk station, and then there was straight sports stations, and they were sort of nestled right there in the middle. By the way, do you know that you can listen to the entire 9/11 Howard Stern show on YouTube? Have you ever listened to that?
I have not.
Oh, dude! Tonight when you go to you sleep with someone else, so you don't get to just listen to stuff. The entire 9/11 Howard Stern show is in full. It's great. I listen to it every once in a while. It is amazing. It is so much better than any of the other news coverage because, well, I mean, we trusted what Howard was telling us, right? Because we had this bond with him, and he was delivering these emotions, these same emotions that we all had, in a way that they weren't allowed to do on MSNBC or Fox or CNN. You know what I mean? It was just,
yeah, that's a good way to say it. They're not allowed to deliver it like the ticket or a Howard Stern,
like a regular
or a
person.
Pugs and Kelly would deliver it. Yeah.
The moment it happens is incredible because they're just doing a regular show, and it's like Robin, it's just a regular show, and then all of a sudden, I think he says, "What's going on out there? Why is Tom Chiasanis, who is the general manager of the station, was suddenly showing up in the booth with Gary?" And Howard was distracted, and it's an amazing listen. We actually get to hear Howard Stern finding out in real time what is happening just a few blocks away from where he's doing his radio show. And then, so they go on, well, it's got to be, it's an accident. And then when the second plane hits, and they're like, wow, I mean, that's when it's such a great listen. All of you, if you haven't heard it, you can go to YouTube right now and just Howard Stern full 9/11 show and just pull it up. I'll tell you somebody else who was incredible on that day, who I listened to, Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony were great on that day. I remember listening to them because I was doing the show with Kelly from Kelly's house. We were doing a night show then. And Opie and Anthony's show was rerun in Chicago between like 8:00 at night and midnight. And it had been a long day of, watching the news, and, we were all sort of in a bit of a daze. And Kelly lived 90 minutes away from me. So I remember sitting in the car and listening to Opie and Anthony's coverage of 9/11 and thinking, these guys are really good. Because before that point, I hadn't really known who they were. I just knew they were guys from New York. But I remember listening to this going, wow, so this is what really talented radio people sound like. Because, Howard had set the bar, and then O&A were like, man, they're right there with him. I mean, it was a terrible day, but man, these things are interesting to listen back to now 20 years later.
Yeah, make me glad I'm in the business, and make me glad that Reiner's 72. He doesn't need this. He's just doing it for the fun of it, and that gives me a lot of reason to be optimistic about what this dude's about to do. He could just go in there and set a freaking radio studio on fire and walk out and still be fine. So what kind of show is he going to put on if he takes this serious?
Whoever lured him back, and I think we have to eliminate Cumulus, right? Because that's where he walked away from. So whoever lured him back in town, they had to have granted him some promise of complete autonomy and ability to do the show he wants to do, which I think is the freedom we all want. Right?
Oh, dude, he could probably walk around in a Speedo if he wants to.
and I'd applaud it. All right, James, that's all we got for today.
That's it.
You can go now.
Hey, Florida Stories, the podcast. Go check it out. There's like 111 episodes up or something like that. And it's funnier than I am on this show. Like, I know I suck on this show, but that's a good podcast, so check it out.
Ah, you're terrific. All right, folks. One more time, we're in the final month of trying to raise money for tips. I'm not going to have to do it after this month, so if you can tip a little something, we would appreciate it. You can hit the Venmo, you can hit the PayPal. Big thanks to Ross. I see you, Ross. Thank you, Leslie. All the Leslies have stepped up and wonderfully. Thank you so much. And John, I don't know where John is, but John, you need to stop. John, you're good. I'm not going to accept any more tips from John. John is one of the. John must be an amazing tipper. I mean, just like with waitresses and bartenders and all that, because he has really been a supporter. Appreciate it. But, every little bit helps. We are 2 days away. We need to make this month's nut. And then, due to other circumstances that are occurring in my life, we're going to need to do it anymore. Not going to need to. So, appreciate. You can still tip. I mean, who would turn down a tip? But we're not going to need your help for the day-to-day production and doing of the show. And thank you, though, for getting us through that year. This first year, I knew it was going to be rough. I knew it was going to take a little while before we could get this thing fully operational on its own, but we are on the precipice of this. No, we're not. No, we're through the finish line. I mean, it's the 29th. I'm still going to be late with my bills this month, but that's okay. Never again. Never again. Thank you all so much. We'll see you tomorrow at noon for the high noon show. I had to do that. Thank you, John. Hi, John. There he is. John, that's enough. John, my God. I woke up to John's tip this morning and I was like, good Lord. Somebody win at the poker tables? What's going on here? This is, thank you, John. And thank you, Ross. Ross, you didn't have to, Ross, you helped in other ways, man. That was awesome. And the Leslies, you're all so great. And again, can't name everybody. I'm sorry. I was just naming the ones who just in the last couple of days have helped out. So I appreciate y'all. We'll see you tomorrow at noon for high noon. Bye, everybody.